Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The CJ Emeritus, Dr. Willy Munyoki Mutunga, made a very oblique statement about the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga yesterday. And actually it has appeared in one of the local dailies today. And yesterday was marking the 47th anniversary of one JM Kariuki, who is mostly known as JM Kariuki. For those who remember history, in 1975, in the month of March, the second day, JM Kariuki was assassinated. And by that time, the likes of Raila Odinga and Willy Mutunga were key antagonists of the dictatorial KANU government by that time. In fact, they were the bad guys who were opposing the KANU government by that time. And so yesterday, Willy Mutunga took to his social media handle and remembered JM Kariuki, which of course, as they were marking the 47th anniversary. And so this statement, the manner in which he made the statement, I definitely knew that the statement was so precarious that it was just a matter of time for the statement to start receiving serious attacks from the Kenyans on Twitter and those who actually use the social media and to pass the information. And again, in the dailies, he went ahead and said something very, very, very oblique about Raila Odinga. Let me just read to you and then we say it. So this is what he said. He said, Raila Odinga of 2022 is far from the left-wing radicalized man of the 1980s and 1990s, but a state project being propped up by a corrupt regime to protect its interests. And then the statement that he made when he was remembering JM Kariuki was this. Listen. He posted, remembering JM Kariuki on the 47th anniversary of his assassination by the KANU Jomo Kenyatta dictatorship, warning us against a Kenya of 10 millionaires and 10 beggars. He now turns in his grave as we now have 8,300 billionaires and 48 million beggars. And then he ended, combat inequality. And actually all this have caused a lot of uproar in the internet. And if you follow keenly the chain of conversation that is taking place right now, especially directed to Willy Mutunga, it is not a pleasing chain of conversation on that line that Willy Mutunga actually ignited. And in this video, I want us to take a moment and tell Dr. Willy Mutunga the truth. And we want to attach it to the manner in which he served as the CJ. And now that he is an emeritus, he has retired from that post and he is going all over, yapping all this and taking it to this serious level. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are coming to the channel for the first time, take a second and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for passing by to watch our videos. We are growing and I did not expect this kind of growth. It's so immense, and I will be doing a lot of videos and I promise to do it to the level best that I can. So thank you so much and may God bless you. So let me come back to this. There is one attachment that we can say is underpinning Raila Odinga and Dr. Willy Mutunga in their relationship. There's the attachment of them being freedom fighters. And again, in the process of being freedom fighters, they were detained by Moi in 1980. So they share a common history of comrades who were detained by President Moi. And then by that time, they were reasoning on the same interest of spearheading what was to come as a revolution for the Kenyan politics and for the Kenyan landscape entirely. And that is why history always remembers Dr. Willy Mutunga, Raila Odinga. We also have the likes of Professor Kivutha Kibwana, who was so steadfast in trying to spearhead the agenda of revolution. But then, fast forward 2022 right now, in fact, yesterday, there is now a very big gap that is separating Willy Mutunga and Raila Odinga. And according to Willy Mutunga, he is not taking this very lightly because he is somebody who has been seeming to be aggrieved with the manner in which Raila Odinga is operating currently and the manner in which he is supporting the government. In his sentiments and remarks, actually, he was trying to bring something which is kind of parabolic, to the extent that he was saying Raila Odinga would be a Kikuyu president with a low name, because everybody who is backing Raila Odinga and giving him more push to becoming the president is from the Kikuyu land. And it is President Uhuru Kenyatta who is taking the mantle to facilitate every move to ensure that Raila Odinga becomes the president at the end of the day. So, you know, Dr. Willy Mutunga has now taken a swift move and is so much having a different opinion, a totally different opinion about his comrade Raila Odinga, whom they fought freedom with and they were detained with in the last days. So, you know, Dr. Willy Mutunga, when he got into the position of being the Chief Justice, and remember he served in the period of 2011 and 2016, you know, he had a chance to correct the mistakes that he was actually seeing going on. You know, in 2013, he had that chance, but he did not correct everything. Instead, he went ahead and bowed to the needs, and his needs were being actually satisfied by the cartels that is now telling Raila Odinga. You know, he's now saying Raila Odinga is within the captivity of the cartels, and these cartels are the same cartels who are satisfying his interest in the 2013. So it doesn't matter what Willy Mutunga say right now, because if he was satisfying the interest of the cartels by that time, then after leaving the government, after leaving the cocoon of this cartel in 2022, he has now got an opportunity to speak about the cartels and to say how Raila Odinga is being held hostage by this cartel. You know, it's just confirming what we always say, that when you live in a glass house, you must be careful not to throw the stones. And it is a common thing in a cross-sectional divide, especially in our Kenyan setting. You know, the moment a leader is in a position to serve and is in the government fraternity, the government framework of service, then definitely they are so much careful of throwing stones, because they are living in a glass house. We have seen this with many leaders. It is so peculiar to see people who were once in the same house now throwing stones, and people who are not in the same house now are in the house and cannot throw the stone. So it tells you definitely that what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. So this did not augur well with the people of Kenya. Let me read for you a couple of reactions that Kenyans made. So one user said, "You had all the legal tools at your disposal to end the vices, but you decided to go to bed with the cartels and billionaires. The only time you mentioned about the cartels was when you were about to retire as CJ, but you didn't give it, you didn't indict it. So leave Kenyans alone." And then another one said, "A good man was sold, a brilliant lawyer, and whom we looked up to as a student, during his interview, bottled, ascended to office on solid credentials, LSK presidency, academia, civil society, pro-reforms, a brand, and then just left the place worse than he found it." It is a very sad story, ladies and gentlemen. So Willy Mutunga has no authority. He has no cadre to come out now and start actually castigating what is going on, because when he was serving and when he had the ability to ensure that every vice could be eradicated within the framework of his power, he did not do it. In fact, he was the one who was bowing to the cartels. So he cannot now come on board and start castigating Raila Odinga and castigating everything that is happening, because it is kind of a recipe to what we are seeing now. And then there's somebody who said, there's somebody who told him, CJ Emeritus, statistician. So this one was a reply to the tweet he made, and he said, 8,300 billionaires. Have you forgotten the millionaires? You remember, CJ Mutunga did not mention the millionaires. He only mentioned, right now we have 8,300 billionaires. So this user was replying, have you forgotten the millionaires? Why? And then he was saying, I know, you are one of them. CJ, talk is cheap. You struggle for reforms. We some sort of it. So he's trying to relate himself with the same. You are now in a comfort zone. Enjoy your space. 48 millions are still in chains. And then he ended, relax. I think this is the most fair comment and the most direct comment that we can end this discussion with. Because, you know, why did he leave alone the millionaires? He started with the billionaires and went to compare them with the beggars. And because he knows that he is in the category of millionaires, that he deliberately ignored talking about the millionaires. So CJ Emeritus, Dr. Willy Mutunga, is pretending and is really not up to the task of walking the talk, because he had actually dined with the devil himself, and so there's no way he can now come out to castigate the devil that he dined with. I don't know what to think, ladies and gentlemen. May we meet in the next video.